the biggest story of the day, I suppose. Obviously, there's some exciting stuff in regards to player outgoings, which we'll get onto in a little bit with players like Hojlund and Garnacho. But obviously, the big story for United at the moment is our pursuit of Brighton defensive midfield maestro, Carlos Baleba. And at the moment, Carlos Baleba is seemingly very keen on joining Manchester United, as you would be, because let's be honest, Man United is a huge, huge club. And the likes of Sesko would rather join Manchester United than Newcastle right now, even though they have European football. So that tells you sort of everything you need to know about Manchester United's appeal still. And obviously Cunha and Mbuemo and those signings that we've made this summer, they're amazing signings, guys. They're amazing signings. And obviously it does bode well. And if you're a player like Carlos Baleba, you can see the opportunity there at United. It is a much bigger club with a bigger, higher ceiling than the likes of Brighton. Even though Brighton is a fantastically run football club, and it's a good football club, and they're playing good stuff, and they're, a consistent, established Premier League team, it's not Man United, is it? So from Baleba's point of view, I'm sure he does want to join United. Plus, he's on very cheap money there at the moment at Brighton. I've heard reports of 20k a week, which means that, I'm sure they could compensate him better, but there's an opportunity here for him to come to Man United and make some big bucks. Obviously, we're not going to be paying him as much as some of the other signings we've made because he is younger. He's only 21. He's still got to develop. But he is a great young prospect, great young talent, and he's already been doing it in the Premier League for Brighton for a couple of seasons with good stats and obviously great work rate and athleticism and ball winning and all the rest of it. He's definitely what we need right now for a defensive midfielder. Because if you look at our team, Ugarte and Cassie, then they're not the most mobile. We need somebody who's very mobile, really, so that we can allow, Bruno Fernandes a little bit more freedoms and just be a better team. That's what we need, somebody who's a bit more mobile. Cassie's still a great experienced veteran. Ugarte, a little bit undecided about him. He seems a bit gash, but he's got a good attitude. He's a battler. So let's see how these guys do. But I think we need a bit more, don't we? Baleba makes a lot of sense because he ticks a lot of those boxes as we've discussed. He is able to get around a lot quicker, ball winner, so he would be decent. And the latest reports are simply this, is that Carlos Baleba has made his intentions clear and has verbally asked Brighton to let him leave the club and move to Manchester United. So this guy being 21, right? Let's talk about it. So at the moment, it seems like we are discussing the personal terms with this guy at the moment. So Fab Romano says that Manchester United representatives spoke with the agents of Carlos Baleba yesterday. They talked about contract length and salary and want it all agreed before an offer is made to Brighton. So this guy, he can come to the football club and get a lot more money than what he's on at Brighton as well, just for that fact alone. He's on 20k a week there. I'll ask the live chat, guys, how much do you think it would actually be worth us to pay Carlos Baleba weekly right now? Bear in mind, he's coming from a cheaper contract. Bear in mind, he is only 21. You don't want to give these players too much too soon. Look what we've seen happen before. I'm going to say £100,000 a week. That's a cracking deal for a young player to play for Manchester United who's 21. And if he smashes it in the next 48 months or, even less than that, 24 months, if he really has a great, fantastic couple of years at United, then he can renegotiate for a bigger contract, can't he? But £100,000 a week, I think, is the sweet spot there for him. We're not trying to overpay players anymore. We're also not trying to undersell or underpay these players right now because he is a good player, and stepping up to United comes with, a significant amount of extra added pressure and exposure and all the rest of it. So he's going to have to earn a lot more. Yep, there you go. Billy says 12 grand a week. You've heard 12 grand a week, yet you've heard 12.5. There you go. So obviously a lot less money if it's 12.5 or it's 20 or it's 12. It's a lot less money, isn't it, than what he would stand to make at Manchester United. So let's see what you guys are saying. Indy says 100k a week. Interesting. 100. Yep. 35, 120. 80 to 100, 140 a week. 500k a week. 120, 110, 85. Yep, he's good. Give him 150. 150 is just a little bit too much too soon, if you ask me. I know he's going for 70 million or around about that at the moment. It's a lot of money, but come on. That's too much too soon for this 21-year-old young lad. He seems hungry, etc. I'm sure it wouldn't have too much of a bad impact, but let's give him a big contract once he's earned it at the football club. I think that's been our problem. We've kind of given players a bit too much too soon. 75 to 100 grand a week, 90k, see how he beds in, 110 grand a week, 100,000 a week, 115 per week, 60 to 80, 100k with performance bonuses, 60 to 80, 100 meant 50, 60. Well, anyway, about 100 or 120k a week seems to be what most people are saying. I think that would be absolutely easily manageable for us, wouldn't it? No problems there. Oh, Paul S. in Texas. Thank you so much, mate, for the raw super chat of love there. Let's get some love hearts in there for him. Thank you, Paul. Paul, you're a legend. He says, so Anthony will only go to Betis and we get basically nothing as a loan fee. And we have to pay his wages. If it's up to me, he stays, trains on his own, misses World Cup. Do you know what, Paul, lad? I think there will be a deal reached with Betis at some stage later on in the window. Right now, that does seem to be sort of the case. They just don't want to pay for him, do they? They want him on a dirt cheap deal, or like you say, a loan with another guff option or whatever. But that doesn't work for us. We're trying to get rid of players. We're trying to get players off the books. We're also trying to raise a little bit of capital to pay for some of these signings that we've already made and are making. So, yes, I agree, Paul. It's annoying, isn't it? These Betis melts are just skin, and they're trying to wait to the end of the window to scrimp it down as much as possible on this Anthony deal. Or for them, the best scenario, as you say, would be just to get him on loan for another season, and then they maybe just pay a small nominal fee up front and then cover his wages or whatever. And, yeah, that's what they want to do. Of course, that's what they want to do. Cheap bastards, you know what I mean? But let's just hope that maybe there can be something a little bit better of a deal done there for United. Like you've just said, I would be the same. I've got no problems if we can't sell Anthony to have him come back into the squad, to be honest. It's not like he's got a horrendous attitude like Garnacho or Sancho. So if we can't get a deal done with Betis, well then screw Betis. If they don't want to give us, 25, 30 million up front, or even over a couple of years, then they're a bunch of absolute raw cheap dicks, aren't they? It has to be said. Thank you so much there, Paul S., for that super chat. You're a legend. Thornster, thank you for your super chat, mate. He says, why can't we force Onana out like we have Rasmus? Well, I think we can. It's just that obviously with Rasmus now we've actually signed Sesko. So Rasmus knows his place in the team. We've just spent big money on a new striker. So Rasmus realises his chances are going to be very limited now. If we signed a new number one, like if Donnarumma came in, then I'm pretty sure Andre Onana would understand that his situation has changed as well, and that he is now number 2 or 3 or 4th choice. So I think that's something to do like that. And then Jonathan's also said, Andre's injured at the moment, I guess. Yeah. Go talk to Baleba. Good shout. I'll get Timo Schafter on the case. Anyway, so Baleba's intentions apparently are to join us. You know, he wants to join us. He's asked verbally, apparently, for Brighton to let him go. This is via Indicator. And just to give a little bit more context there from Indicator account there, it says, firstly, a big shout out to the reporter who reached out with this exclusive. Baleba wants out / personal terms agreed. Carlos Baleba has made his intentions clear. He's verbally asked Brighton to let him move to Man United. And it gets even more interesting because Baleba's agent has given the thumbs up on the personal terms offer if if Brighton agrees to let him go this summer. So obviously United been speaking with the camp of Baleba anyway to get personal terms agreed. That's not an issue. That's not an issue at all. And, this is via Fab. He says that Baleba's open to joining United. Brighton will not make it easy, and United believe this transfer is more than difficult. But they wanted to try and understand the situation. So that's obviously, we are trying to get him. This is also via Fab that says that United representatives spoke with the agents of Carlos Baleba yesterday. They talked about the contract length and salary and want it all agreed before offer is made to Brighton. But there are reports now, coming out that this particular deal has actually been already done and agreed, in that sense. So like here's Ross Harwood report that, and a bunch of other reports as well that say that this deal is actually, in terms of the personal terms, that's already done. Ross Harwood says the feeling inside United is that they will complete a deal to sign Carlos Baleba. Personal terms are done. Player expressing wish to move from Brighton. Brighton have shown they will sell. Agreement on fee being negotiated. The confidence is now high on this deal, with all parties feeling it would be best for all involved to go ahead. Oh, Carlos Baleba. Oh, Carlos Baleba. Why is it every player that we sign just fits into that Robin Van Persie chant scheme? You know what I mean? What's that all about? Oh, Mateus Cunha. What's that all about, guys? Oh, Brian and Puemo. I don't know, but I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. So If he's agreed personal terms, that's fantastic. If he is obviously trying to push for a move within Brighton there, that's fantastic. It seems like his camp and everybody himself, the player, and everybody wants him to move. The only situation here that is maybe a little bit of an issue is obviously the club's having to reach an agreement. So right now, they are supposedly wanting somewhere in the region of 90 to 100 million for this guy. Now, he's not worth that, is he, folks? What's the maximum we should pay for him, live chat? What do you reckon? I'm saying, 70 plus maybe 10 in add-ons, if the add-ons are, like, performance-based and they're over a significant amount of time. Like after he's reached, I don't know, 100 league appearances for us. That would mean in a few years' time, if he's playing for us regularly and he's a success, then we give him another bit of cash. Something like that, I don't think we should be paying any more than 70, really, for this guy, or certainly not 80 with add-ons included there, because, well, it's just crazy. He's a 21-year-old player with big potential. He looks really good and everything. He's had a good couple of seasons in the Prem. But is he one of the biggest stars in the world? I mean, he certainly has the potential to do that. I kind of liken this situation, though, for Man United to Caicedo and also Declan Rice when he moved to Arsenal. So they're huge money signings, aren't they, for this position? But they're expected to be players that are going to be playing in that position for many years. So over at Chelsea, obviously, Caicedo, and obviously at Arsenal, you've got Declan Rice, and they cost huge money. And I guess this is our type of signing like that, which is hopefully going to be a stalwart defensive midfielder in the team for us for hopefully a decade. That's the plan here with Baleba. So you can see the project that's taking shape here. We've signed Sesko now, he's 22. We've got Mbuemo and Cunha, they're around 26. So it's like everybody's the right sort of age for a great project over the next 5 years to just develop and get better and turn into some sort of beastly outfit. That's the plan. Well, there you go, Eva. So Caicedo went for 90 million, I think, and he's better than him. Yep, he did go for a shitload of cash, didn't he? You reckon 80 million for Baleba, 75 million max, 80 plus 10, 20, sorry. 80 plus 10 is get it done, 100's fair. I mean, if we paid 100, it's crazy, but I mean, I don't really care. I just want to get the player in now. It'd be awesome. But I still feel like if we want to do other bits of business in this window, then maybe we should be trying to obviously negotiate this down as much as possible. The understanding is that United do really want this guy and we're prepared to pay, but we're kind of only willing to pay about 70 million. Zola says we'll never get him for 70 million. Forget it. Yeah. So that's it. If Brighton don't want to play ball there for 70 million, and Brighton are a good club when it comes to selling players, they do seem to get a lot of cash for these players. I could imagine that, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a drawn-out negotiation and they will be quite firm on what they want, which is why I'm saying maybe 70 plus 10 would be enough perhaps to get the deal done, because 80 million quid, I mean, 80 million quid with 21-year-old Baleba is a fantastic amount of money to pay. So I don't know if we should even pay more than that, to be honest. Plus, there's other options and signings that we're still looking to make, isn't there? We are still potentially looking at a new goalkeeper. So we do have to think about it. Yeah, Daz Solver says, no way, 100 million. That's top of the range player territory. I'm with you. I mean, that's crazy money, isn't it? That's like if you're an experienced, prime, world-class star. That's the sort of money that you would have to pay for a player. You're talking about players like Isaac going for 100 million plus. 100 million's crazy. We can't pay 100 million to Brighton for Baleba. Sporting says 100 million's a steal. Greek fan says 70 plus 10. Right, yeah. Thornster, Ben Jacobs said 75 minimum. Oh, I don't think it'll be much less than that. No, I know United want to pay maybe 70, 75 million, but it's not going to be any less than that, is it? Because he is a really big player. No, I haven't got a cat, Robert Xerxes, mate. I don't know. Don't know what that could potentially be, mate. Maybe my microphone's fooked. 50 million Sancho, get rid of that Margot. In an ideal world, that would be exactly what we do, wouldn't it? Oh, crikey, we've got 364 legends in here, by the way. Thanks for joining, everyone. Happy Sunday. I hope you're well. If you're just joining the stream, can you do us a favour? Smash the like button there. It's free. Give us a little tickle of the like. And also, get yourself subscribed if you're new. We're on our way to 92,000 subscribers. We're only actually less than 100 away. We're 93 people away from getting to 92,000. So if you're here for the first time, consider smashing that subscribe button down below. It's free, and it doesn't hurt. Right, let's get stuck in again then to the next topic, guys. So actually, before I do, we'll get into the chat for a minute here, see what you guys are saying about this Baleba situation. And then I've got the latest information on Hojlund, Garnacho, Onana, and all sorts of stuff. So we'll get into that in a moment. But before I do, let's keep discussing this Baleba stuff for a couple of minutes. I'm going to dip into the chat for a minute. Pig, are we going to get the Baleba? I mean, I think we are going to get him, actually. I could see it happening. It seems like this player wants to come. You know, if we look at the latest reports, he's open to joining us. He's interested in joining us. He's agreed personal terms by a lot of different reports as well, which means that, you know, there's no real issues there with the player. The desire to sign for us is there from the player in his camp. Brighton, you know, they're open to selling him. They are open to selling him, but apparently only for 100 million. So there will be some sort of middle ground met there, I believe, between the two clubs, where Man United try and get him for 80 million or somewhere like that. I don't know, but it is a lot of money. We could try a player swap. Yeah, it's a good shout, Jonathan. Out of all the players they could take from us, I mean, I don't really know who they'd be interested in, mate. You know, I don't think they'd be interested in Hojlund. Maybe they'd be interested in Garnacho, but probably not. I mean, obviously they got Mitoma. I know he's getting on a bit, but nah, they're not going to be interested in any of our players, mate. They're just bad eggs, mate. They're bad eggs. Nobody wants our rotten players. Okay, so, yeah, there you go. Anyway, let's see what everybody else is saying here very quickly. After Sesko signing, got drunk and had a Sir Jim tattoo. Oh, bloody hell. You want to go get that lasered off, mate? Yes. Hey, no worries, Legend Disco Dave. Nice one. Catch you in a little bit, you legend. He's cheap and cheerful. Yeah, fair enough. Right, okay, anyway, I'm just going to move on to the next topic of the day. We will get back onto Baleba in a bit. We're going to have a big Q&A at the end of the stream, so stick around for that. But for now, we're just going to crack on with some of the other United news that's come out today and in recent times. So let's discuss it then. Sorry, I forgot to mention this little post about Baleba there from Fab, who just said that it's United are in constant contact with Carlos Baleba's agents even today regarding the contract and salary. United want to advance from Baleba's side. Baleba is not closing the door to United. I mean, this was last night from Fab, and since then, as I've said, there's been reports from various outlets and various journalists that personal terms are done. So that's the situation, it seems, at the moment. AC Milan want Rasmus Hojlund. Not clear he wants them. Not sure Man United would be keen on options. So there you go. Rasmus Hojlund to AC Milan is still in the works. And Fab says that AC Milan have started discussing via intermediaries numbers of Rasmus Hojlund deal. Understand these are the details. €6 million loan fee, €45 million buy option clause, and salary covered. No green light to exit from the player yet, as Hojlund insists on staying even after 0 minutes today. So this was obviously last night. He didn't play in the game yesterday. He didn't come off the bench. So it does beg the question, what's happening with Hojlund? Is he going to be sold? Is he going to be loaned? At the moment, it does seem the most likely thing is going to be a loan deal with an option to buy, yeah. AC Milan leading the chase right now, though there are one or two other clubs that are apparently still interested in him, a couple in Italy. So, yeah, I mean, this will be a good move for him. If he's going to be playing reasonably regularly at AC Milan and it's a loan move, it's actually not a bad deal for us. Sure, we want to get money up front. I mean, €6 million if it's a loan fee, that's not bad. And if his wages are covered, that's not bad. And he can still come back to us in a year's time. Maybe a better player with more value if he's gone over to Serie A and done well. If he goes over there and bags, 15, 20 goals, he'll be coming back here in the Premier League and with a big value. And also, they may well exercise that option to buy. It seems like a reasonably high buy option clause at the moment. If you're talking about what Fab said here, €45 million and €6 million up front, which would make the total cost of that deal for them 51 million in a year's time if they wanted to make it permanent. But if he actually did go over there and smash it up for them and did really, really well, then they may well want to look to pay that. The most likely outcome would be that he just returns to Manchester United in a year's time. And then he's our problem again. But as I say, he could go out there on loan and develop into a good player. He's still only young, 22. He's got some good attributes. I mean, he was a calamity for us last season in particular. His movements were poor. His finishing was lacking. The frustration was clear. The confidence was in the toilet. Clearly there's a lot of issues with him at United, but there's not to say there's not a player in there still, because he is young and he can go and develop. And we've talked about players like Victor Gyökeres going for big money and having a 54 goal in 52 game season just last season for Sporting, and how gash he was just 5 years ago. And he's 27 now, Hojlund's age 5 years ago. If you think about that, there still could be some great development that takes place. I mean, he's a physical lad. He's quick. He just needs to learn how to score, and then he'd probably be quite a good forward for us in the future. So I actually don't mind the whole him going out on loan, even if he comes back to us in a year's time, because he might be a different player then. and he also may well still be worth a significant amount. I'll ask the live chat, though, guys, what do you think we should do with Hojlund? Bear in mind, we haven't actually picked up another striker. Yes, okay, Sesko's going to be the number one, but surely we still need 2 backups, really, to rotate or cover if we have an injury or whatever. You know, surely you still could do with, like, on paper, Sesko, Hojlund, and Obi. Surely you could do that. Whereas what we're going to do, are we going to allow him to go and then sign Vardy or something? I don't know. I feel like we kind of need 3 strikers, unless we're going to bring in another striker. I don't know, but let's ask the live chat, guys. Keep, loan, or sell? Would you keep him for extra cover this season, just in case? Would you loan him to maybe go and develop and see if he can revitalise his career elsewhere? Or would you just outright sell this guy, try and get 35, 40 million up front right now for us to be able to utilise in different players in the window? Get your thoughts and opinions in. I mean, I guess I'm more open to the loan with an option to buy sell at the moment, because if he does do well, it would be quite nice to get him back in a year's time if he's gone on and developed and done well. Honestly, even though I think he's gash right now and he's proven to be rubbish for the last 2 seasons, he could actually go on and do some decent things in the future. Who knows? Who knows? I doubt it, but who knows, right? And so I feel like the loan move maybe makes the most sense, plus 6 million up front and a 45-minute option down the line. As long as they're paying 100% of his wages, it's not really too much of a risk or anything involved there for United, is it? Worst case scenario, he comes back to us in a year's time, having played a bunch of games over in Serie A. So I would say loan makes sense, but right now, I still believe we do need to sign another striker, just to back up, somebody to come in instead of Rasmus Hojlund if we are going to get rid of Rasmus Hojlund. Otherwise, it kind of makes sense just to keep him around. Let's see what you guys are saying, though. So, loan him, sell him, keep him until January at least. That's not a bad idea, you know, Danny. You see, you never know what's going to happen, do you? Could be an injury, could be a key injury. Hojlund is the GOAT. Keep him. The GOAT of what, though? The GOAT of missing the net. We need the Deadwood to move. Yeah, that's true. To pay for the Baleba deal. That's a fair point. Yeah, that's fair enough. Loan him. You'd keep him for a season. I like your style. Hojlund loan. Xerxes, I think, is going to play a good squad role. End of the day, he's kind of a utility player. He can play in a different bunch of positions. He's actually a good hold-up player as well, and he links up well. So if you're talking about coming on later in games and playing as the 10, or even playing up top as the number 9, Xerxes, yeah, that's a fair point. I completely forgot about him, you know, like as an option to play number 9. I don't think he's a clinical striker, to be fair. I prefer him a bit deeper, linking up and holding it up and playing others in and all that sort of stuff. But actually, he is an option. That's a good shout. We still got him. You'd keep him, but it's too late. He's gone. Keep. Loan. Oh, yes, Mike Hill, Donnarumma and Baleba would put me in Dreamland. Definitely loan. Anyway, so Rasmus Hojlund at the moment, it seems like he is going to be going out on loan. That's the likeliest outcome. Perhaps there will be the ability to sell this guy, but it's not likely. More likely is we get a small fee up front for this guy to be loaned out to AC Milan, and then they've got an option to buy him in a year. Yep, Obo says loan him out to allow him to develop further. He has big potential to improve, and he'll be one of Europe's best strikers. Well, we did pay 73 million euros for this guy, didn't we? And that was for potential. Now, potential needs to be met, doesn't it? The player has to work hard, develop well, you know, stay injury-free, all the rest of it that it takes to actually reach their potential. But he's still got that potential. That's a fair point. Xerxes and Obi are better, so sell him. Got to go, I'm afraid. Not good enough. Love that, Tommy Boyle, lad, you legend. Yes, Tommy. I feel pretty much the same as well. I mean, I know I've just said loan him. I don't care, really. If he gets sold, great. We've got more money up front. If he stays, great. We've got a backup option if anything happens to Sesko, or we just need to put some mugging up there for a game. You know what I mean? And also, if he goes out on loan, well, that's great too, because then we're developing him, and he's going to get some game time, and it's not our problem for a season, and his wages are covered. So actually, you know what? In the words of the legend Andy T, don't care. Don't care. He got the job on a technicality of a legend who recommended you. You are nothing. You are a fool and in a waste of time. Good night. David Moyes, you are the biggest fool in Manchester. You know what I'm saying? There, like, there you go. I'm not bothered. I just don't really care. Thank you, Pablo, for subscribing to the channel, mate. I appreciate that, legend. If you're new like Pablo, get yourself clicking the red button down below that says subscribe. Okay, so we're working on, you know, Hojlund out. Let's talk about that. We're working on Hojlund out. Another player that we're working on maybe bringing in at the moment is obviously Donnarumma. Now, that's very wishful thinking from us Man United fans. But there are reports coming out that says that Donnarumma would be keen on joining United. You know, this is from Anel Candola, who just says that PSG goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma wants to join Man United this summer. Okay, and Graham Bailey also saying that Man United may allow Andre Onana to leave on loan if they secure a new number one goalkeeper, with Gianluigi Donnarumma as a potential target. PSG would accept around 40 million or less, but Donnarumma is demanding a weekly salary exceeding 250k. Okay, and also, as we've said, United may seemingly be open to replacing Andre Onana this summer with Paris Saint-Germain goalkeeper Donnarumma. I mean, it's an absolute no-brainer, isn't it, if we can? Apparently, we can get him for about 30 million quid. Now, there's still question marks about this. They've signed Chevalier, though, over at PSG. There is question marks about what he actually wants. Is he just doing this at the moment and just to try and get a huge money contract? Will PSG bend and give Donnarumma 300, 400 grand a week? I mean, look, if he wants more than £250,000 a week at United, just pay the man. You know, I think we could pay him £350,000 a week at Man United and it would still be worth it. And it would be justifiable. We don't want players coming into the squad and upsetting the apple cart, so to speak, and upsetting that whole wage structure at the United. We don't want another situation where we've got players who are not really, you know, adding that much on huge money. Players, you know, like Sancho, players like Casemiro. Not that Casemiro's not been good, but now at the moment he's on big money for the player that he is. Okay, so but Donnarumma is could be justifiably paid that much. If he's going to come in and get the same sort of wages as Bruno Fernandes, I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. It's a specialist position. He's pretty much the best goalkeeper in the world. If you want the best goalie in the world, you're going to have to pay him like he's the best goalie in the world. You know, this is the mistake we made with David De Gea. David De Gea, one of the best goalies in the world. He was on £300,000 a week, wanted 350 or whatever it was in the end to stay inside another few-year contract. That would have been money well spent if we'd have actually signed him up rather than spending 50 million on Onana and paying his wages. It would have been money well spent on De Gea, just like I believe this would actually be money well spent if we were to be able to bring in the likes of Donnarumma, because he is that sort of match-winning world-class goalkeeper that we're missing right now. We've got a flubber hand in goal, a man whose wrists are made of wet biscuits. We have obviously got big issues with the goalie position, and this would strengthen us to the point of having pretty much the best goalie in the world, which I don't know, we can't really do much better than that right now, other than maybe us being able to bring back David De Gea because he knows the club and we know he'd be good for us. And he was great, by the way, again in that game yesterday for Fiorentina at Old Trafford, wasn't he? But you know, other than that, this is pretty much the best bit of business we could do for the summer. The goalkeeper is a big problem. Onana's a mess in goal, and we need someone to replace him. And we can't get better than Donnarumma. So, you know, I just hope that there's some sort of leg, some sort of truth behind this whole story at the moment. You know, that Donnarumma's interested in joining United and that maybe he wants to leave PSG. And I honestly don't care what money he is paid at Manchester United. I don't care. He's worth it. He's still young. He's still a young keeper. If he's going to give us the best 5 years of his career now, I'll be buzzing if he gets paid 350k a week. I don't care. I mean, how much would you pay him, guys? Let's ask the live chat. Let's see what the live chat's saying. Let me get rid of that so we can see the chat a second. How much do you think we should pay Donnarumma a week if we were to get him as well? You know, I honestly have no issue with paying him 300 to 350,000 pounds a week myself. We were paying David De Gea a few £100,000 a week, and he was one of the best keepers in the round. That's justifiable. If you're coming in and you're Donnarumma, who's just won, you know, the Champions League with PSG, and you're Italy's number one, and you've been around since you were a bloody teenager as one of the best goalies in the world, then I really don't care. I think it's justifiable. And if you're the rest of the team looking around and you're on 150 grand a week, but big Donnarumma comes in and he's on 300 odd grand a week, so what? Suck it up. He's literally the best goalie in the world. Are you the best, you know, whatever position you are in the world? No. Well then suck it up. Elliot says absolutely. Donnarumma's worth every penny. He's worth way more than 35 million, so the wages ain't an issue. Well, you say he's worth way more than 35 million. Let me just remind you of this situation, David. He's kind of got PSG bent over a barrel at the moment, though, because his contract expires in a year's time, which means that in January, he can actually agree to join another football club in the summer next year. He can agree though, in January and sign as a free agent on a free transfer, mate. And next summer, he would probably get a big money deal somewhere else, even more so because they're not having to pay a transfer fee. So he could just wait it out for the season and go and get a monster move. Also, they could risk out losing him for nothing, basically, if they don't sell him now. So the situation, it depends what the situation is. If Donnarumma is just using this situation now to try and get a big contract at PSG, so be it. They may sign him up to a new big contract, and then he's happy, isn't he? I would be surprised if he wanted to join Man United instead of stay at PSG. He's just won the Champions League there. But maybe he feels like he's done everything there is over there in France, and the French league is just a bit of a Le Mickey Mouse league, isn't it? It's not as good as the Premier League. If he wants to play in the Premier League once in his career, this is a great opportunity for him to come to United. Plus, you look at the signings we've made, and Mbeumo, Cunha, Sesko, and Baleba potentially, we're obviously trying to do things. There's obviously ambitions here. And if he was told about the project, maybe he could see the fact that in a year or two's time, we could be right up there again, challenging for everything. So he might be open to it, but I still feel like, yeah, there's a chance that PSG just sign him up to a new contract. But if they don't, and if Donnarumma does want to leave, then the situation is pretty clear. Either they cash in now this summer and get 30 or 35 million for him, or they let him go in a year's time for nothing. And then they've also got a one-away player on their hands in the squad, you know? So it depends, really. The power is with Donnarumma here. If Donnarumma is really keen on leaving PSG, he can make that happen. If he wants to sign a new contract and it's just about the money, then he can make that happen. If not, then, well, he can basically be a free agent in a year's time and sign for whoever he wants for probably more money than what he can get right now. So he's got all the power in the world. PSG are bent over a little bit here. They have to make a decision. Do they want to keep this guy for a year, let him go for nothing, or do they want to cash in now? Or do they want to sign him up to a massive contract? Because that apparently is the issue here. So he's on, I think, £200,000 a week over there at PSG right now, and he wants, you know, in excess of 300 or whatever. So, you know, that seems to be the problem. But for us right now, it would be money well spent. I truly believe that. Yeah, well, Tommy says £1 million a month to stand in goal for 6 to 8 games. It's insane how he values himself so highly. But he should value himself that highly. You know, don't hate the player, hate the game. The game is what it is. The value is what it is. The wages are what they are. You know, that's the market. It sets itself, really. You know, like he's worth that because he is one of the best in the world in his position. So I think it is worth it. Actually, he's justifiable in the sense that he wants the most money in the world. I actually think that's justifiable. Just like it was justifiable for David De Gea to want more than a few £100,000 a week at United. Then United had an offer on the table. Then we removed it. Then he's left the football club. Obviously, Ten Hag's got rid of him. But in hindsight, that would have been money well spent. And in hindsight, David De Gea deserved that. He deserved that by how good he is and how good he has been for us. And Donnarumma, to be fair, for how good he has been to PSG and winning them helping them win the Champions League, he deserves to be paid well by PSG. And I'm not saying he's not getting paid well now, because he obviously is. But look, they need to pay him if they want to keep him, because he does deserve to be paid like he's the best goalie in the world, because he basically is the best goalie in the world. 250k, pay the man 250k. I mean, if we could get him for 250k a week, I feel like that would be just actually really quite a good value deal. Alisson's on 150. Doesn't matter, mate. Doesn't matter. 200k, 350k, 300 to 350k. Yeah. I mean, end of the day, guys, it's just money. As long as the player's going to come in with the right attitude and play. And you never know what's going to happen with a player. They could flop. But for Donnarumma, he's about the most proven goalie you could imagine slotting in there. He's a big unit. His overall goalkeeping abilities are great. His command, his communication, you know, his shot stopping is otherworldly. So he's a brilliant keeper with great presence. You know he's just going to come in and do well. That's the thing. It's not that much of a gamble, is it? Really. 250k. Let's go, Pig. Donnarumma, 900k. 200k a week, 100k. We paid De Gea 400k, 300k. Did he say he wants 250k? Well, if he wants 250k, then that's great. 250. Donnarumma's the best keeper right now, so 350k justified. Mate, thank you, Florian Mate, for subscribing to the channel there. Nice one. We've got nearly 500 legends tuning in here today. Welcome aboard, everyone. Do us a favour. We're 85 people away from 92,000 subscribers on YouTube. Get yourself down below. Click the red subscribe button there. You know it makes sense. And also smash a like on the video. We're trying to get 300 likes on today's stream. Evo says 350k. If we put his contract mandatory, kissing the badge, 400k. Yeah, so what I was going to say is obviously there's a risk when a player comes in. Like, remember Alexis Sanchez? We were paying him the best part of $500,000 a week, and he just came in and he wasn't bothered. There's an attitude problem there. But Donnarumma, although he's, been at PSG and won the Champions League, they won everything over there, I still feel like he's got a lot left to do in the game. He's not just some melter who's going to come in and just rest on his laurels. I feel like if he's going to come to United, he would want to play and play as best as he possibly could do. So never mind the money. The money's not actually that important to me when it comes to a world-class player. Godzilla, thank you so much for getting in there, lad. With that, thank you for the super chat there. Is that Juan? I don't know, 1,001 or something there? Let's go, Godzilla. He says, yo, pig, 250k is a lot, bro. I mean, 250k is a lot, lad. I would do some very questionable things for 250k, mate. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a lot, lad, 100%. But in the words of David Ginola in the old L'Oreal adverts, because he's worth it. You know what I mean? He's worth it, guys, in my opinion. It's not that he'll flop or not. It's the attitude, too. If we're rebuilding, we can't remove bad eggs and replace them with new bad eggs. They must be careful with this one. I don't know about that. I don't think he's a bad egg. Obviously he wants to get paid what he deserves to get paid. Anytime I've ever seen Donnarumma play in goal, be it for Italy or be it for PSG, he's always given it his all. I've never seen him look like he's got a bad attitude. That's just my take on it. If you're saying, okay, fair enough, he's, using this situation, trying to get the money, I don't blame him. Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's the price of the market, mate. He should be getting paid what he should be getting paid there. Should there be players in that position on more money than men around the world? That's the question. Yeah, Tim Kelly says, makes me laugh the amount of people saying Donnarumma's wages will be too high like they're paying him. Exactly. Plus, we've actually going to be saving a lot of money in terms of wages already. If you think about the wage bill, right, so if Sancho goes, I'm not pretending like we can even have all of Sancho's wages covered this summer, but if he goes, that could be a couple £100,000 off the books a week. Rashford's already got his wages are covered. That's £350,000 a week they're covered. You've also got the potential for us to still get rid of Hojlund and Onana, maybe. Like, if we were going to bring in Donnarumma, let's just talk about that for a second. If we were going to bring in Donnarumma, then Andre Onana, see you later on, son. That's it. We've said here, Graham Bailey said that United may allow Andre to leave if we secure a new number one, and maybe even out on loan. And that could be great. I think Inter Milan would be interested. They had him previously. They've got an older, aging keeper now who is a good keeper, but he's aging. Why wouldn't they be interested? Just try and sell him. Like, I think Andre would be open to going and leaving Manchester United. We've heard that he wants to stay, but if we just take into consideration what's happened now with Hojlund and the fact that Sesko's come in, Hojlund's game time is going to be limited at Manchester United now, massively. And the same will be the case, even more so, for Andre Onana if somebody like Donnarumma was to come in. So that would mean that, but basically going to get rid of Onana if Donnarumma comes in. So that's a double win for me. I could not wait to see the back of Andre Onana at this football club, my friend. I have nightmares where I wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night, imagining Andre Onana fumbling the ball in the nets from crosses and stuff. I have serious nightmares about this guy. I have nightmares that he's standing in front of me, looking me deep in the eyes, with his hands outstretched like this, covered in Lurpak spreadable butter. You know what I mean? I have some serious nightmares about this man. And this guy, I can't wait to see the back of him. So if we could get Donnarumma and the bonus is that Andre Onana's going, well, then that's a double win, isn't it? Tommy says, can't see it happening. Italian players shy away from the Prem. You could count on one hand how many Italians play in the Prem. I really want us to sign Lamans in midfielder. I don't know about that, Tommy Boyle, lad. Not so sure. What? Since when did Italians shy away from the Prem? I mean, actually, maybe I suppose right now, there's not a lot of Italians, but previously there's been shitloads, hasn't there? From the Zolas and the Vialis and the, But yeah, fair enough. Maybe right now there's just not really that many, but yeah. United need Kimmich, perfect mentality and leadership. It was something like that would be nice, but that's just not even on the agenda, is it, lad? But that would be nice. Okay, let's move on to Alejandro Garnacho now, guys. We've got the latest on Garnacho, so that's the latest on Donnarumma. Apparently he wants to join us, but again, it's all speculative stuff right now. He may well just be trying to get that big contract there at PSG, and I still expect that to happen. But if not, then, we should absolutely be going in for him. And PSG will be forced into that position where they either sell him now this summer and get some cash, or they risk losing him in a year's time for nothing. So really, the player has the power there. Okay, let's move on then to Alejandro Garnacho. So the situation there is that Chelsea, are very much keen on Garnacho. They're advancing with this deal. Obviously, we've heard previously that they've reached personal terms agreement there with Garnacho. So Fab said that understand that Alejandro Garnacho has agreed every detail of the personal terms with Chelsea. Deal done on player side. He only wants Chelsea, as revealed here, since July. Talks with Man United about fee will follow soon. Chelsea pursue both Garnacho and Xavi Simons. So that's a previous update, but basically the situation there really is the same, is that they're trying to pursue Alejandro Garnacho and they're looking to get him for as cheap as possible. Sorry, I missed a super chat here. I apologise. Thank you so much. Wait, sorry, it's only just come in, actually. Wait. Thank you so much for your super chat there, Poland. He says, I don't care who we get, as long as Flappy Hand is leaving, a.k.a. foam wrist. Yeah, he does play like he's wearing, a couple of foam fingers on each hand as opposed to goalkeeping gloves, lad. Thank you, Proland. You're a legend. That's very kind of you, my friend. Thank you so much for getting there raw with your super chats. Right, so Garnacho, we just want him gone now, don't we? I personally don't even want to sell Garnacho to Chelsea. I'd like to see him go abroad for less money. I don't care. Oh, what's that? Oh, Garnacho only wants to play for Chelsea. Who gives a shit what you want, Alejandro Garnacho? You're a spoiled little brat, lad. Who cares what you want? You get what you give him, pal. Either the deal's right for us or it's not. And if it's not right for us, then you can kiss it in the reserves for a year, bud. Who cares? You know what I mean? Or be willing to go to Italy. Oh, you want to stay in England? You want to go to play for Chelsea, do you? Why's that then? You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't even really want him to go to Chelsea, but to be fair, I don't think it's a big loss for us. His attitude sucks. His attitude stinks. So if he wants to go play for those scummers, probably the right fit club for him, to be fair, because they're a scum club, aren't they? So Garnacho to Chelsea is very much on the agenda at the moment. There's going to need to be an agreement reached between the clubs. I think £50 million is the reported amount that United will accept for Garnacho, nothing less. And nor should we accept anything less than that either, because it is a joke that we're able to just sign players for huge money and that other teams go out there and sign players for huge money. But we can only sell players for gash cheap money. What's that all about? We should be getting 60 million off those Chelsea scummers there for Garnacho. Never mind 50 million, but 50 million minimum. So clearly we want to get rid of Garnacho. There is no possibility of a loan move here. We don't want to loan Garnacho. We just want to sell him, get him gone, get him off our books, get the money in for him now to help pay for, the Sesko deal and the Baleba deal and these deals we've already made. Because we have spent a lot of money already and we do need to recoup a little bit of that back. He's just another one of those players to add to that. Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony, Hojlund, potentially, all money we can claw back, and maybe even Andre Onana if we were to sign a new goalkeeper as well. So there's still players that we can sell. He's top of the list. See you later on, Alejandro. My personal preference would definitely be to get him out of the league, though. But I can see this happen, and I think he probably will end up at Chelsea. They are interested in him. There's reports that they are just kind of looking to wait to sell players right now. So it's a bit frustrating because obviously, we want to get this guy gone. But there's some reports that suggest that they are just looking to wait until a couple of players have gone. Right, let's discuss Garnacho for a second. Yes, Garnacho has an attitude problem like Horrid Henry. It is a poor attitude. That's the problem there. We know he's got talent. We know he's a great young player. They'll be getting a good player from a lot of perspectives. If you look at how he's developed the last couple of years, if you look at some of the things he's done, couple of trophies won, playing in the Premier League as a young teenager and now a 21-year-old, playing in the Argentina setup occasionally as a backup melt. But even so, he's a great young player with great prospects. So Chelsea will be getting themselves a good player, but will they be getting themselves a player that has the right attitude to actually fulfill his ambitions? See, the thing is, he obviously thinks he's the next Cristiano Ronaldo, and he wants to be the next Cristiano Ronaldo, but he's not Cristiano Ronaldo. For a start, he's a physical little sickly melt. You know what I mean? Cristiano, even as a youngster, okay, fair enough, he was lanky and wiry and, didn't get that same physicality until a bit later on. But Garnacho's never going to be as physically gifted as Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a little melter. I saw a funny meme earlier on, actually. It was a reporter asking a question to Alejandro Garnacho, and it was, if you could beat anybody else in the world, who would you be? And the answer from Garnacho was, Georgina Rodriguez, because that's Cristiano Ronaldo's missus. So, yeah. I thought it was funny. Anyway, obviously, because he loves Cristiano. Anyway, right. So, yeah. Nice one. Garnacho, apparently Garnacho agreed to Chelsea in terms of his fee, his wages and stuff. So there's not a problem there. That's already been agreed. It's about the two clubs obviously reaching that agreement. Okay, nice one. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to just check out the latest updates that may have come out during this show. Let me just check my sources here online, see if there's anything Man United related that's come out sort of over the past 45 minutes while we've been rambling. We're going to get into the Q&A now. So once again, if you're just joining the stream, please do smash that like button, give us a huge thumbs up there, and subscribe and get involved in the chat here in a second. I'm also going to shout out everyone that's reposted us using the link at the top of the live chat. So new news about Jack Grealish and Everton, by the way. So he's held talks now with Everton, and it looks like that deal's going to be going ahead, by the way, in regards to Grealish to Everton. He's got interest in it. Yep, I don't think there's anything else necessarily in regards to United. Bit more on Isaac, saying that Isaac's agents are planning to show up at the Charity Shield final, even though Liverpool hasn't officially invited them. What? Couple of reports coming out there. Okay, yeah, no, nothing else in regards to United. We've covered it all here really today. The Donnarumma stuff, the Onana stuff, the Garnacho stuff, the Hojlund stuff, and of course the Carlos Baleba stuff. I'm just going to shout out the legends who repost us, then I'll just do a rundown there, and then we'll get into the chat. So thank you to all the legends that have reposted us. Shout out to the 11 Dons and Donesses that have shared it around there. Larry Hasser, Javier, Kane, the Butcher of Manchester, Kieran, Ryan Neeson, Craig GC, United Flying High, the Stylebender, Dave Dewey, and Aaron, you legend. Thank you so much to all you heroes there for giving us a monster share. Right then, let's get into it. I am watching the game today, mate. We're doing a watch along here, absolutely. At 2:40 p.m.-ish. I'll be getting on about 20 minutes before kickoff. So obviously it's Crystal Palace versus Liverpool today, and we are all Crystal Palace fans today. I'll pin it to the top. Thanks for that, Aaron. I'll just pin that to the top of the live chat there, lad. So that's where we'll be later on after this stream. We're going to be going to watch the Crystal Palace versus Liverpool Community Shield. And if you want to come along and watch it, please do. Should be a bit of bants. Gungshi, you legend. How you doing? Yes, Gungers. Sell them out to the Saudis and let him play with Ronaldo. Good shout. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? If only you'd want to go. To be fair, Al Nassr, I'd imagine, is the only club in Saudi he probably would consider going to, just so he could have a bubble bath at night with his idol there, Cristiano. You know what I mean? The latest on Baleba. Right, let's cover it then. So for anybody just getting in, let's cover the Baleba stuff very quickly. So the Carlos Baleba news is that he apparently wants to join Manchester United. You know, he's made his intentions clear and has verbally asked Brighton to let him leave the club and move to United via Indicator. And then if we have a look at also another bit more context on it, says, firstly, big shout out to a reporter who reached out with this exclusive. Baleba wants out / personal terms agreed. Carlos Baleba has made his intentions clear. He's verbally asked Brighton to let him move to United, and it gets even more interesting because Baleba's agent's given the thumbs up on the personal terms offer if Brighton agrees to let him go. So it seems like he's agreed personal terms with us. Obviously, we've seen other reports as well that we've been in contact there with his agents to essentially get this deal done. Ross Harwood says that the feeling inside United is that they will complete a deal to sign Carlos Baleba. Personal terms are done. Players expressing the wish to Brighton for the move. Brighton have shown they will sell. Agreement on fee being negotiated. Confidence is now high on this deal, with all parties feeling it would be best for all involved for it to go ahead. So there we have it, really. Seems like he wants to join us. Personal terms not an issue. Personal terms agreed. He wants to come and play for us. The real issue here is just going to be, it's going to be getting the deal done here with Brighton, because apparently they want 100 million for him. 100 million. 90 plus 10 is apparently their price. 90 million up front, 10 million in add-ons is apparently their golden number in order to get this deal done. Well, that's a bit too much, but again, I don't really care as long as we get the players that we need. But honestly, we should certainly try and meet them somewhere closer to 70 or 80. And surely there's a little bit of room for movement there if they actually do want to get this deal done. So Baleba wants to leave. Apparently he's asked to leave. And he's keen on United. So if that's the case, they've got a one-away player on the hands. They're going to try and get as much money as they can for him. But ultimately, we should be able to get him for a bit less. Yeah, that's right. Dilvani, you legend. He says United value him at 70 and Brighton values him at 100 million. This negotiation will be tough. That's exactly spot on, yeah. Well, would it be tough, though? Because if you think about that, there's a magic number in the middle of those two figures, 85 million. That's a magic number. And it is a lot of money, isn't it? It is. And maybe that could be slightly structured as well, remember, or maybe we're including some add-ons. So 75 plus 10, 80 plus 5, or, you know, I don't know. Somewhere in that region, though, in the middle, meet us in the middle at 85 million sounds reasonable. And it's similar, an acquisition with Chelsea and Caicedo, or Arsenal and Rice. It's like they're signing a player like that for huge money who does have potential to play for them for 10 years and do really, really well and develop into a beast. Interesting shout there, David. 70 million in Collier. Well, maybe a player going in the opposite direction would be on the agenda there, lad. Yeah, that's very true. Paul S. in Texas. Mate, thank you so much for getting in here raw with a $9.99 super chat there. He says, we will pay what they're asking. That's the United way. Largely, it's true. In recent years, you look at what we've paid on, you know, out for Hojlund and Antony and those sorts of melts, then, yes, I could see that being the case, yes. Yes. Thank you for that, Paul S. I really appreciate that, you legend. We won't get Baleba for less than 105. They want Caicedo money. Yeah, they probably do. Brighton do generally get big money for their players. They're a great selling club in that sense. They do sell. They have to sell. They're a mid-table club. They're a small club, really. I mean, they're always punching well above their weight these days, really, aren't they, for where they're finishing in the Premier League and how they're doing. Really, they should be probably, you know, a championship side, if we're being honest. But obviously, in recent times, they've made strides and they are an established Premier League club. They've got a great stadium now, you know, new stadium. They are a Premier League established side, but just, you know, they're not a huge town, huge club, whatever. So it's difficult maybe for them to compete with the big boys. But actually, they always do recruit really well, they develop really well, and they sell really well. They're going to get big money for him. But 85 does sound about right, doesn't it? If Brighton play nice and meet in the middle, 85 would be good. Yeah, it's a lot, Pro-Lange. But if we're going to get the player that solves our problem for many years, it might well be money well spent. I mean, who knows? But at the moment, the guy's 21, and he's already looking really good in the Premier League. You know, he's already passed his audition of a Premier League defensive midfielder. What we need is a mobile defensive midfielder, really, and he is very, very good. If you look at his stats and stuff, his ball-winning stats, all that sort of stuff last season, very impressive, very good. Like, we need someone like that who's more mobile, athletic, quicker. Ugarte and Casemiro are not it. So I'm pretty sure if we were going to implement Amarim's system properly, we need somebody in that DM role who could just be like a Kante for us or something, you know. He's worth every penny. Yeah, like a Kante, says you. Well, there you go. Billy says you're spot on, Piggy. 80 to 85 plus add-on sounds negotiable. Yeah, I mean, if they're really going to be rigid and only want 100, then maybe we walk away from the deal and they lose out on, you know, 85 million quid. They might want to keep the player, but also factor in that if we believe what the reports are saying, is all we've heard is that this guy wants Man United and he's willing to leave Brighton, and he's asked to leave Brighton. He's asked for permission for them to essentially let him leave and for them to accept slightly less than what they're asking for, so he can make the deal. So he can get the deal done. That is what we've heard. His camp are trying to push for a move. So, yeah, I think there is a bit of room for negotiation here. But if not, then, you know, I don't necessarily think we should just pay 100 million for Baleba. That's crazy. That's the sort of money you would reserve for, you know, one of the biggest names in world football and one of the biggest stars in world football. And no disrespect to Baleba, he could be that in a few years. But he's not that now. He's not there yet. So I don't think, you know, 100 million makes sense, to be fair, especially when we're talking about, oh, you know, we still need to sign a goalkeeper like Donnarumma and find the money for him potentially. Honestly, don't know why we're going for him. He's nothing special. I mean, he had a great season for Brighton. He's a defensive midfield destroyer. He's very mobile. He's very quick. He's athletic. You know, he gets stuck in, lad. I mean, what's not to like? He's 21. He's 21. You've never heard of Baleba till this summer. Is he really that good? I'm guessing some of you just don't watch football. You know what I mean? Like, I'm guessing some of you don't watch the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? I mean, look, I'm not going to pretend like I tune in and watch Brighton week to week, but what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, he's a good player who's played for Brighton for a couple of seasons in their midfield. Last season, played 30-odd games for them and was brilliant. He was very good. He's got huge potential. That's the key here. You know, he's not prime Yaya Toure, but he's got potential to maybe be somebody who's going to be great and world class. He's not there yet, but he is obviously very good. People serious? I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing people don't watch the football, guys. You know, I don't know. No disrespect, but you know, tune in to Match of the Day once in a while. He destroyed us. Give him $1 billion. Baleba was everywhere against us last season. Yeah, you see, yeah. Baleba's a good player. You disagree. Everyone that's watched the EPL's heard of Baleba, mate. There you go. How you doing, Manny Slooflacker? Yes, precisely. He's a good player. He's a good young player. He's 21. I mean, I wouldn't say nothing special. I'd say for somebody that's his age, he is special. For somebody that's done as much as he has done and looks as good as he does in the Premier League playing in that position, I'd say he does look special. He's 21. You know, the fact that he's had a year over at Lille and then a couple of seasons in the Prem for Brighton and looked really good, then, you know, I see that as great potential. Plus, he physically fits what we need. He's not an old man slow Casemiro. He's not Ugarte who's slow as well. He's a quick, mobile sort of defensive DM. That's what we're looking for. We need somebody who can get around and allow, you know, maybe Bruno to do what he needs to do and get forward sometimes and also, you know, just protect that back three. This market doesn't make sense. Just pay the 110. It's not our money. Yeah, these guys who say I want United's bullshit, they know saying that gets a fat pay rise. Baleba's okay, but overpriced. Andre at Wolves is better than half the price. This window is getting ridiculous. Interesting shout. I mean, that's your opinion. That's your opinion there, Tommy Boy, and I like it. But when you say half the price, like, do we actually know that? Like, obviously, these teams don't want to let these players go, do they? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Wolves are a little bit disappointed that they decided to agree to that Cunha deal so quickly, because they could have probably got a bit more from us, couldn't they? Baleba's very good, like an improved version of Ndidi. Yeah, man, that's what we're all about. We need somebody like that. We need a, you know, like a prime Ndidi type mobile midfielder, like a Kante. Should be kicking ass this year, Pig. If we end up top three, I'll make you a miniature Man United surfboard. Banging. Thank you so much. The queues for the mega store were a joke yesterday. Ineos played a blind against Sesko before the game. Oh, yeah. They've even got me considering getting that new black third shirt. You know what I mean? With Sesko on the back. They've even got me thinking about it. If we don't get Baleba, City will go for him as they're desperate to get a midfielder. Rodri injured. Yeah, but he's only injured till like September, lad. I don't think he's going to City. Rodri's going to be back in September, and then what? Then Baleba's just going to be playing a bit part, is he? Because Rodri's back in September, mate. That's not long. This is the time to get him next summer. He'd be gone. Yeah, for the rest who doesn't know him, watch him against us last season. Just walk through us. Precisely. I remember that game. He was very good against us, wasn't he? After a few seasons of signing proven Premier League players, we need to start headhunting these players like Baleba instead of buying at top dollar. So true. Imagine if we'd have just done what we all said we should have done before Caicedo went to England. So Caicedo went to... he came over from bloody Ecuador and he signed for... Shit. Who did it was Leicester, wasn't it? Fuck. No, hang on. My brain's absolutely non-functioning right now. Obviously they Chelsea bought him for 105 million or whatever it was from this Brighton. It was Brighton. Sorry, another team plays in blue. Of course. This fucking team, mate. That's it. Sorry, my brain had a complete mental fart there, guys. Of course it was Brighton, yeah. So it was Brighton who sold him to Chelsea for 100 million. That's what I'm saying. They get great money for their clubs, for their players. But anyway, yes, just to get back on track here, it was Brighton Caicedo went over to. We all said we should have bought him before he went to Brighton on this channel. If you remember, we were all talking about we should sign Caicedo for chump change. And that's what it was. It was a few million quid. We were all saying it's no gamble, is it? Buy him. Brighton took the gamble. Brighton got him. Then Brighton developed him. Brighton sold him for 100 million. So it's exactly what we should be doing here, really. You know, is getting these players before they do move to that big club for even more money. You got the new black third kit. You should definitely get it, Pig. It's mint. Yeah, it does look pretty sick, mate, to be fair. All of us fatties wanting that one. You would sell Maguire while his stock is at peak. Oh, not a bad idea, Manny. Yeah, fair enough. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere. Your brain is not functioning. Get some coffee and energy so we can smash Liverpool, Piggy. Yeah, it's very true. Sell Maguire to Mykonos. Right, anyway, I'm going to read a few more of these comments out then, you legends. Great little stream here today. Thank you so much to you all for joining us. We're nearly at 300 likes, actually. We're only 12 away. Keep hitting the likes on the video. Help us get to 300. That'd be amazing. Also, get yourself subscribed. We're on here daily for the latest Man United news and goings-on. We'll be on here tonight again as well at about probably 9:30, 9:45 p.m. with the latest Man United transfer news this evening. But obviously, straight after this stream, we're actually on the Liverpool versus Crystal Palace Community Shield watch-along. I'll just go and get you the link for it. It's actually pinned at the top of the live chat there anyway. But if you want, at the end of this stream, you can go over there and smash a like on that watch-along there and come and join us for that. It's only happening in, well, the kickoff's in 39 minutes, so it's not far away. So I'll pop the link once again in the chat there. Please do come and join us for the Liverpool Crystal Palace watch along. Should be a laugh. Hopefully we see Crystal Palace batter up those scummers. That'd be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it? Let's hope so. We're all Crystal Palace fans today. Thank you so much, Man United Greek fan. You're a legend. What would you rate this transfer window if we get Baleba and Donnarumma? Yes, I would, Manny. I would say it's more or less a 10 out of 10. I mean, it depends, I suppose, if we could get rid of Garnacho, Sancho, as well, then that would really make it a 10 out of 10. I would say 10 out of 10 if we get rid of the players we need to get rid of as well, and 9 out of 10 if we still keep some of the dirt players that we want to get rid of. But certainly, if we got Donnarumma and Baleba now, as well as Sesko and Mbeumo and Cunha, that's about as good as you can get, isn't it? Yeah, that would be amazing, an amazing window. Dilvani says 3-0 Liverpool Pig, better to stream FIFA or Battlefield Beta. I tried to play that Battlefield Beta last night, mate. I was actually thinking about doing a stream for it, and then it said I was like 227th in a queue to play it. So I couldn't even get on and play it, mate. So what's that all about? You forgot Palace won the FA Cup, Pig. I know. Yeah, crazy stuff. Come on, Palace, says Aaron. 2-1 Palace. Let's go. Let's go. Did Carlos tell you personally he wants to join Man United? He did, Kareem. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that right there, Carlos? You want to join United, yeah? Yeah? Oh, yes, I really want to join. Yeah, he does, mate. He does. He told me he does. I hope Man United would give me some happiness this season. It has been a tough year with parents suffering from critical illness. Oh, sorry to hear that, Fat Thor, lad. Yeah. Much love to you and the fam, lad. Yeah, well, hopefully this season is a better one. It can't be any worse than last season, can it? It would be a 10 out of 10 window. I'm with you. I'm with you. And Diego Leon as well. Yeah, good shout. I didn't even think about that. A.K.A. Tuco from Breaking Bad, mate. What a fucking beast. AFCON will be a nightmare for United if Baleba goes through. No Ahmad, Onana and Mbeumo and Mazraoui. That's a fair point, lad. Didn't really think about it. That's a lot of players going, but it's only for a few weeks, really, isn't it, mate? Come on. Interesting there, Dale. Nice one. We should try Gibbs White, if anyone. Not a bad idea there either, Tommy Boy, lad. I like your style, Tommy, coming up with all these different picks, lad, that we're not linked to. Piggy gets inside info off Timo. Precisely. Right, guys, we're going to wrap up this little stream here, but thank you, everybody that's tuned in. You're a set of legends. Once again, go over here. There's a link coming in the live chat there. There it is right there. There's a link in the chat. That is the watch-along. Please, before you go, though, smash the like button on this stream. Subscribe. Click the bell icon for notifications. Come back tonight for the evening news in regards to Man United. Hopefully there'll be some more movements in regards to Baleba or outgoings. Who knows? Come back this evening and we'll see you there for that. But for now, we're back on here in, 15 minutes or so with the watch-along for the Community Shield. Come on, Crystal Palace. Right, come and join us for that, guys. There it is. Right, for now, though, thank you, everyone that's tuned in. Appreciate you all. Thanks to all the moderators in blue there. People like Daz, Salford, Disco, Dave, Gung Shi, etc. All the legends. Aaron, Jonathan Gallagher, all the Dons. Thank you to all the members in green for being members and supporting the channel. People like Malps, Ian Navarro, Aaron. Let's go, you legend. David Jewsnip. Come on. Paul Warby as well. Thank you. And also all the Patreons, legends like Daz Salford. Big ups to those legends. And everybody who's in the chat and having your say. Links Red, Raconteur Jack, Man United Greek fan, Paul Warby, Links Red, Motto Green, and everybody. Thank you, Dave Watkins, you legend. Stuart Zekman, you Don. Keanu Steve, big ups to Paul S for the super chats and anybody else that got in there as well. Thanks for the support, guys. Thank you for watching. Thanks for the chat. You're a set of legends. Right, guys, see you in a minute. We'll be over there on the Liverpool watch-along versus Palace. Come in about 15 minutes. And remember, Piggy loves you. You can follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. Links are in the description. Please do give us a follow on all those platforms. And I'll see you in a bit. Back in 15. Come on, Palace. Let's smash up those fucking liver scummers. Cheers, Paul Gates. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. As always, you can come back after, get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we've discussed. Please do. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon.